I truly don't know if I will ever post this video. Will this video ever see the light of day? But if you're watching this video, then I have probably already announced that I am pregnant. That's weird for me to say, but I kind of wanted to document my journey to becoming pregnant. If you didn't already know, in the month of March, I had a miscarriage. And I guess I wanted to document just kind of like how these next however long of trying to conceive post miscarriage, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to document like my feelings, to kind of help me, but also to maybe help anybody else that's feeling the same way. I also have a friend who's in the same situation, and when I tell you, I would not have survived the last few months like without her. Just like having someone who was feeling and is feeling all of the same thoughts that I am. And I know not everybody is lucky. Now, I don't think it's lucky's not maybe the right word, because I don't wish that upon my friend, but I do feel extremely grateful to have somebody so close to me going through the exact same thing at the exact same time, like feeling all the exact same feelings that I am. So I wanted to kind of give a bit of backstory, talk about my current feelings, and then yeah, just record kind of over the next however many days, weeks, months, who the heck knows. So the day of recording this, it is the 14th of May. Sorry, my watch doesn't say the month. I officially had a miscarriage. Don't even remember the date. Sometime in the middle of end of May, maybe like the 20th of March, sorry. I had like a miscarriage. I call it a period, but it's just a miscarriage. And then 28 days later, I had my first period, which is actually the most regular my period has ever been since I started to have a period post my daughter. Like it was the most like on time. I honestly thought that first period post miscarriage would be like the most difficult, because it would like really sink in that I had a miscarriage and then I wasn't pregnant. But honestly, I was okay. Yeah, as like okay as I could be. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, that period. So now I'm about a week away from either getting my period or finding out I'm pregnant this month. So a little bit of more backstory. I do have 2 kids already, if you didn't know that. I say for my first that we tried for about 1.5 years. I don't recall ever taking ovulation tests with my son. I think I just kind of winged it. My period was pretty regular at that point. I'd been off birth control for like a few months before I started to try. And I don't know if I fully tried for every single month in those 18 months that it took to get pregnant, but I know my sister kind of said that her first child like took her a bit longer, and then she was pretty easy after every single one. So I kind of expected that, and I always felt like I wouldn't be someone who like, I didn't feel like I was the most fertile person probably ever. Actually had booked to like go see a fertility clinic. I had it booked for like this week in July, and then a week before I found out I was pregnant with Smith. And then with my second child, I kind of thought, okay, it's probably going to take a while. So I kind of, maybe I didn't try earlier than I wanted, but I just like kind of was like, right, I need to start trying now whenever I got this feeling and not push it off. And I always say I got pregnant with her the first month, but I'm honestly not sure. It was either the first or the second. Once again, I don't think I tracked ovulation. And so I had a very easy time getting pregnant. So the third time around, I just thought, well, obviously it was just my body wasn't used to it the first time around. So the third time around is going to be the exact same as the second. And so I kind of pushed off trying to kind of like when I was ready for a baby right then, not realizing that it was going to take all of this time. Like hindsight is 2020. There's somebody just looking at me as I sit here and chat. Hindsight is 2020. Like now in hindsight, I would have tried a way earlier, but my youngest was honestly exclusively breastfed, way more like into breastfeeding than my son, and I was worried that if I got pregnant the first month, like it would just be very, very difficult because I would not be able to breastfeed her if I was pregnant, and that did kind of push my timeline off. I never did go back on birth control after my daughter. I never went on actually after my son either. I'm just like not really into birth control, and I don't think I'll ever need to go back on it because I can't even get pregnant when I want to, so I think I'll be fine. But I checked my Flow app, which is like where I track my period. Oh, I need to say this. I don't think I got my period back till honestly like well after 1 year with my daughter. I can't remember the exact month, But see, with my son, I got my period back within like 6 months, so that already in itself was making me a wee bit on edge. And I breastfed both of them, so like I didn't really think of anything to do with that. But I had only started tracking in the Flow app since August of 2023. Now I cannot fully remember if I was like properly trying in August, but I do have like things written in Flow. I was not tracking ovulation or anything like that, so I was kind of just like doing it on a whim. So I don't know whether to like count that as my first month of trying or not. Sorry, I'm literally just like telling you all my thoughts, but I feel like you need to know all these things to then like fully understand where I am right now. So I think when I look in my pre-mum app, which is the app that I use to like track my ovulation tests, I think I only started taking ovulation tests in either December or January. I could probably check, but I couldn't bother. So in saying that, I've only tracked ovulation now at this point like four maybe 5 months just past, 5 cycles. I don't know, I think 4 cycles, potentially 5 cycles. And obviously one of those cycles I did get pregnant and had a miscarriage, so the odds are not that stacked against me, but it's been a long frigging time. I guess where I'm currently at right now is I'm obviously 1 week away from testing. Where do I don't even know how to get into this. It's just really difficult. I talked about this a little in my miscarriage video, but I think it's just getting to the point now where it's like I basically am going to have a baby hopefully in the next few months, or like get pregnant in the next few months, and these are the months of the year that I just would not want to get pregnant. Like I don't want a baby in January, I don't want a baby in December. That's the month that I just got my period for, so it's not going to be December. The earliest I'm going to have a baby is the very end of January. I never wanted a January baby, I never wanted a February baby. I already have a March and April baby. And so it's like I'm coming into these months, and I know in the grand scheme of things it does not matter at all, but it's just like, it's just frustrating at this point that like, because I can't guarantee that I'm going to get pregnant, I have to try in these months that I don't want a baby. But does that make sense? And also I don't want my kids to be more than 3 years apart in school, and I know in the grand scheme of things this also doesn't matter, but it just, I don't know, it really makes a difference to me at this point in time, which means that the latest I could have a child is June. So January, February, March, April, May, June. I have 6 more cycles, technically 5 because I've just finished one, if that makes sense. And then they're going to be more than 3 years apart in school, which honestly really stresses me out, but that's another story for another day. How I'm feeling currently is really stressed. I was talking to my friend today just kind of about some of the feelings I have, because I was like, is this normal? Like I was saying to her, I feel like these last few days I'm constantly feeling like I'm trying to catch my breath. I don't know if anybody feels like this, but see when I'm like about to take a phone call or like do something that's like makes me a wee bit nervous, I'm just like, my heart feels like it's literally dropping, and I have felt like that for like the last few days, like just felt on edge at all time. My heart rate is like normally 60, and the last week or so it's been like 70, and I don't know, my thoughts are really rambled at this point because I have so many thoughts. And like I stopped taking hot baths because I'm paranoid that that's the reason I'm not getting pregnant, which is so stupid. Not that I ever took scalding baths, I literally get in the bath for 2 minutes and then I'm out anyway. But I like don't take baths every night, which is one of my favorite things. I'm just like trying to do things like rub essential oils on my feet, like all these stupid things, and I'm like, people literally do drugs and get pregnant, and I'm like, why am I so paranoid? Like I'm literally paranoid about all the like little things that like that's the reason why I'm not getting pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting so stressed out that that's the reason I'm not getting pregnant. But I'm like, how do you physically not get stressed out about something that is just a stressful situation? Like I don't know, I don't really talk to anybody in my personal life about it. I don't even really talk to my husband about it. Not that I couldn't, but I just feel like it's such an internal personal issue, and like nobody really gets it besides somebody who is going through it, which is kind of why I've said I'm so grateful for my one friend, because I literally feel like I would be going insane. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts at this point. I'm actually doing okay, but I know as the months go on I won't be, but because I still have that like 5 to 6 months where I'd be happy to have a baby, like I'm still feeling okay. I just do feel like now I'm like properly ready, like my daughter's sleeping through the night, we're like about to potty train her, like all these things. I'm like, okay, all my ducks are in a row. What more can I do? Come along on this journey with me and see. I don't know, maybe it'll be a short journey. I keep trying to tell myself that I have to be positive. The month that I did find out I was pregnant was like the most positive I had been. Now maybe there's no correlation. Correlation does not equal causation, or whatever that saying is. But then there's also a sense of like, okay, I don't want to get my hopes up. So it's like, I don't know, they say the mindset is everything. I don't know. And I don't want to say like I do feel good about this month, and that might mean absolutely nothing. Like literally I might get my period in a week, like it might mean nothing, but at this moment in time I feel pretty good about this coming up test. It's hard because I've not documented any other month. I kind of forget how I feel every other month, and that's why even for like myself it'll be good to be able to watch this back if I get my period, and the next time I do this time next month, if like I'm feeling the same way then as I do now. But if I'm being genuinely honest, and I have not vocalized this to literally anybody, even my friend, I feel pretty confident about this month. And so maybe I'm like, that's why maybe I'm so stressed out. I don't know. I feel confident as one can. I feel like this month I have tracked my ovulation the best. I have around my ovulation the best. Like I've been the most dedicated compared to other months. Like other months I tested my ovulation, but I was like, meh, don't really care, like, yeah, can't be asked, you know. So I don't know. It is officially 8 days postpartum. Technically my period is due, it's Tuesday on a Monday. I will probably test a day or two before, just to either get my hopes up or to not. So we will see how the next 5 days go. I said I was going to record the journey, so we're recording the journey. I was actually just driving to Lidl. I don't even know if you can tell. I don't know why I am getting emotional. But I just kind of wanted to, like, when I was driving, I was listening to that song, Darling, won't you take me home? Whatever, that song. I'm not a very good singer. And I don't know, just like this thought popped into my head, and then I don't know why it made me cry, that would like every not pregnant, like every negative pregnancy test that I have taken and will take, like, will all be worth it when I get like the actual pregnant and it's viable and I don't have a miscarriage. But it friggin' sucks in the moment. Like it really sucks. And I know people say like, oh, you're so cringy, like putting your camera up to record, but sometimes it's just nice to talk, even though I'm just talking to myself. But like, I know other people feel like this, and if we only ever show like happy moments, and I only ever showed like me getting a positive pregnancy test, and I never shared any of this, like, for the women that do experience this, like, they would never think that it happens to anybody else. And I know people experience this way more severe than me and way worse than me and for way longer and never get to have kids, and that is horrible. But I'm just sharing my personal experience, and it sucks right now. Yeah, I think it was only like 2 days ago I posted that other video, but that was just the thoughts that are going through my head at the minute. I probably could test at this point, but I obviously want to like record myself in case it is positive, and I'm just like, I just don't feel up for that at the minute. I don't know why, and so I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until I think my period due date, or like the day after. I don't know, even though I probably could this weekend, but just to like sit and film it and then for it to be like negative, I'm just like, I couldn't really be bothered. So maybe it'll change, I don't know. But that is today's thoughts, and now I've got to go into Lidl and record a video when, what do I look like? Oh, it don't look too bad because I've not been like sobbing, but I don't know. That was just today's thoughts. It's not an easy ride, so it's not. Some days are harder than others, and I don't even, some moments just even like, I'm grand, there's nothing wrong with me today. But just like in the car, that song, I started thinking about like, oh my gosh, like how would I announce that I was pregnant? And then I'm like, and then I started thinking about things like that, and it makes me emotional. But I'm gonna go do my groceries now. I said I'm recording all the moments, so I'm in fact recording, well, most of the moments, I'm 99.999% sure that this test is going to be negative. I've taken 2 of these like little like cheapy ones over the last 2 days, and I literally like can't see any line, any sort of line. But I do have these clear blue ones, so I'm just gonna do it, get my mind off it. I'm still 2 days before my predicted period, which it's only my first period back, that one, before this one, post miscarriage. Like, that doesn't mean a whole lot. The only weird thing is I did take an ovulation test, and my ovulation, it was like kind of high. So that was giving me a bit of hope, but then with the pregnancy test again this morning, I was like, no, it's just not happening. But I feel kind of okay. Like, I feel okay at the minute about it being negative. Like I said, it's not like the perfect month to have a baby anyway, but I just know like the further down the line I get, the worse it's gonna get. So let's take this test and see the crack. Yeah, there's nothing there. Yeah, absolutely nothing. And there for sure would be if on this thing. See, this is the process. These are the missed months. Yeah, there's nothing. It doesn't matter. The more I look at it, there's literally nothing. What I am going to do this month differently is I've just been using the really cheap pre-mom ovulation tests, and I'm going to actually go and buy the clear blue ones because they're supposed to be a lot more accurate, because I definitely am ovulating, and so unless, I don't know, they're supposed to be more accurate, but I feel like at this point it's like, what more can I do? Do you know what I'm saying? Sorry, I need to put this down. It's like, what more can I do? It's been literally like what did I say in the last video, like 9 months. Sucks. In the back of my head, because the ovulation test was kind of high, I was like, okay, maybe just the pre-mom ones are wrong, and I was like, this clear one, blue one's gonna come back really faint or something, you know. I did have a wee bit of hope there, but unfortunately nada. So I'm gonna treat myself to a nice hot bath, because I have not had one the entire month, because I'm in that like psycho stage of trying to conceive where I'm like, oh, need to get more sleep, need to be less stressed. Maybe the fact of taking a hot bath is meaning I can't get pregnant, and it's like, no, my body just freaking sucks ass. Back to the freaking drawing board. Let's ignore the fact that my hair is looking the way it is. I just washed it and dried it, so it needs straightening, but I don't even know what I filmed at this point, if I'm being honest, but I did just officially get my period, which is ironic because it was like literally like 5 minutes after I took a pregnancy test. But I thought I would come on and speak, honestly more so for myself. I don't really have much to say. Honestly, this feels like the first time that I've ever doubted the fact, how do I explain this, like, this is the first time I've ever felt like, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I ever going to get pregnant at this point? Like, it's just like so many months have passed at this point, and like, what am I doing wrong? I don't know. That's just how I feel at the minute. And it's like, now you've got to do this all over again. You've got to start from scratch. You've got to get your period, and then you've got to wait to ovulation, and you've got to test for ovulation, and then after ovulation you've got to wait a week or 2 weeks, or however many weeks it is, and then you've got to take pregnancy tests, and then they come back negative, and then you've got to do it all over again. And I just can't be bothered. Like, if someone just said to me, okay, you're not going to get pregnant for another 3 months, I'd be fine to do it all again for 3 more months. But it's a fact that I could sit and do this for 3 more months and not get pregnant, and 4 months, and 5 months, and 6 months. And it's like, at what point do you just be like, right, just give up and be done with it. It's so frustrating. And like I said, and I probably said in every clip, people go through so much worse and they never have kids, and they go through this and never ever get kids, and I'm so aware of that, but I'm also just trying to document my process, like my thoughts and my feelings on my experience, because that's the only thing I can go by, is my own experience. And yeah, I felt really hopeful. I think I said on another clip, like, oh, I think like this could be it. And it just wasn't. And it sucks. And I honestly, that's about all I've got to say. I'm trying like not to get too down about it, because like there's no point. And I do sit and think, like, see, the day when I was making dinner, I was like, oh, you know, I've got to be able to do so much in these like last like 8 weeks since like I miscarried, or even if it's been about 8 weeks. Like, I gotta go on holidays, not feel sick, and I've been able to do so much, and I'm like, okay, I'm grateful for that. But it's like, it just sucks. It so sucks. And the longer this goes on, the like less I can envision myself ever being pregnant. Like, I just can't. I just can't envision it anymore. And I'm like, is that the sign? Like, that I can't envision myself being pregnant. Like, I can't envision myself being like sick for 8 weeks. Like, I just can't see it. And so I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, what more can I do besides what I've already done? I have ordered different ovulation tests, more expensive ones, like clear blue ones that are bloody like 30 pounds. But I'm like, whatever. I've ordered some vitamins that are supposed to help. Like, that's going to help at this point. I'm trying to look up what I got. I've ordered these clear blue because I was actually ran out of, I pretty much finished my ovulation test anyway, so I need to buy new ones. These ones right here, because they're supposed to be really, really good. But I'm like, I don't think it's going to matter, because I'm doing the deed around my ovulation before and after it. So it's like these tests are going to do anything different for me. I do think like the one factor that I maybe could change is I don't get enough sleep. But in the same breath, like, was I getting a lot of sleep when I got pregnant last time? And I think because sorry, I'm just on a tangent here, and I will just finish here soon, because this video is going to be so bloody long, because it's going to be about 10 years before I can conceive. But it just feels so frustrating, because see, if I had had this exact same experience getting pregnant with Annie, I would have known this was to come, because I have experienced this with Smith. But because I had got pregnant with her so fast, I just thought like that was how it was going to go every other time. And it's just like, I'm now kicking myself, because I'm like, I should have tried earlier. Like, I should have tried to get pregnant earlier than I have tried now. But I didn't, because I just stupidly assumed that I would just get pregnant fast. And the more the months go on and the older Annie gets, the like bigger of an age gap that I see between the kids, and it just honestly stresses me out so much. And I see people at my son's school, and they've got kids with 4 years age gap, and it's fine. But for some reason, for me, I just don't want it. I don't want the baby to be 4 school years apart from Annie. I just don't. And because my kids are the youngest in the year, it gives me far less of leeway with that, because Annie is an April birthday, and so if I want a child 3 years below her in school, the latest I can have a child is June. Is it like, so I have like literally 4 months left, and it's just like so frustrating, because I have lost so many things that I wanted at this point. Like, I've lost having a 2-year age gap. I've lost having a baby in a month of the year that I would want, which is obviously such superficial things. And it's like, okay, I've already lost those things, and that's fine. I've grieved that. And now it's like, I don't know. Am I gonna have this huge age gap, which I don't want? And I know it's stupid to cry over, because I should just be grateful if I eventually get pregnant, whether it's 4-year age gap or 5-year age gap or whatever it is. But at this point, it just seems so frustrating. Oh, it's so annoying. I didn't even think I would cry, but I'm just like, I don't vocalize any of these thoughts, because it is so stupid. Like, it's such a, like, I don't know what the word is, like, it's just like not an important thing, and
and I recognize that, but it's also just like when you want something and you've already like lost so many other things that you wanted and you've accepted that, it's like this is the last thing I'm like holding on to. It's like, okay, but at least I'm getting the 3-year school age gap, like that I can cope with that. And I'm like, that's probably not going to happen either. And just like everybody's getting pregnant, everybody on social media. It's like people who aren't even trying. Oh, it just freaking sucks.
I actually shouldn't be allowed long stretches in the car on my own, because that's when I always have so many thoughts. Anyway, I'm outside Asda because I'm about to go in and do some groceries, and it's like a half hour, that's not even a half hour drive for me. Anyway, it is officially May 28th, I think, just 2 days before my anniversary. I wanted to go on and do a video. I honestly wanted to do it at home, but my period is done. We're officially on, like, is it like day 2 of no period? Day 3. I have the new ovulation test, which I will maybe show them when I get home. They're like the more expensive ones, really friggin' expensive. And it's funny because, sorry, according to like my pre-mum app, like I wouldn't be in like the ovulation stage for like another 3 days. Like I wouldn't even be ovulating for like another week or so, but I wouldn't be in like the ovulation stage where, like, you know, it's like your peak time for like 5 days or whatever. But I took that clear blue, I think it is, test this morning, and it was like giving me like the flashing smiley face, which means that like ovulation period is right now, which is so bizarre. So I'm like, okay, maybe that is why things have been going all haywire. So I'm gonna go with that this time around and see if that makes a difference. But what I came on to say is I'm feeling really good. This is the period, it's a 1 month period where like you feel really good for a week, then you feel really stressed, then you feel really good, then you get your period and you feel stressed again. So I'm in like the stage of like feeling really good. But what I came on to talk about was, I posted a video the other day, a TikTok video, being like, it was like to like a sound, and it basically was like everybody announcing their November pregnancies and then me, and then it was all these clips of me crying, and I cannot believe some of the comments that I got on it. Honestly, it was actually really difficult for me to go to like read it, which that's obviously what the trolls want, so I don't really kind of entertain it. But I wanted to just kind of talk about some of the comments that I got, because I know other people will get these kind of comments, or like will get people in their real life saying them, and I think it's kind of nice to have someone else, I don't know, like talk about it. One of the main comments I got was how I have family going through infertility, how I have 2 kids myself, and so it's like really selfish of me to be upset, which I think is the biggest load of shit I have ever heard in my entire life. I have said so many times in this big huge vlog how I know there are people worse off, but that does not mean that I cannot be sad because I had a miscarriage. Literally, I had a baby inside of my stomach, dead. Like, you cannot tell me that I cannot be sad about that because I know people going through infertility. I recognize what they are going through is so much worse, but that doesn't mean my situation isn't shitty. Doesn't mean that I cannot be upset. So if anybody ever in your life tries to tell you that, literally just give them a big middle finger and say, piss the hell off. Then to say, you already have 2 kids, so you should be grateful for the 2 kids you have. I am grateful for the 2 kids I have, but that doesn't mean that I cannot be sad that my family is not the way I want it to be. Like, I recognize the fact that like my situation is easier, and I've said that in my miscarriage video, like I'm so grateful for the 2 kids that I do have, because I know that if push comes to shove and I never can fall pregnant, I can be happy with what I already have. But once again, that still doesn't make having a miscarriage any easier, because I wanted this baby. Like, I wanted to be pregnant. It doesn't make the fact that I've been trying to conceive for 9 months any easier. Like, I know there are people in harder situations. It's like there are people who are dying, but that doesn't mean if you get a broken leg it doesn't hurt any less. Like, that is always my thing. Like, you cannot, somebody still has to go to the hospital for a broken leg, even if there's somebody in the hospital dying. Like, the hospital still sees people and like who are in different levels of pain, but like my pain is my pain, and I can't ever relate to somebody maybe that have had to go through infertility, but like my experience is my experience, and I'm allowed to be sad even when there's people going on with worse, because you could say the same thing. How can somebody with IVF be sad when there's people in the world that are dying and that are in famine? Like, we don't need to compare people's scales of pain. If someone feels pain, we don't need to like minimize that. I don't know, it's like, that shouldn't be. It's not a competition. It's just like, okay, that's how I'm feeling. Also, I got so many questions like, you set up your phone to record you crying, like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing, like this has to be satire, like, oh, you're just doing this for views and money. My views on my videos on TikTok are fine, so I don't need to post that video. The video I did after it did better than that video anyway, so that logic didn't actually make any money off it. But also, people make money off exposing their kids. They make money off being pregnant. They make money off, I make money off doing my damn grocery videos. So if I want to make money off a video of me talking about my experience with miscarriage, I don't see why that ethically is not right. If people can make money off their children, why can't I make money off my miscarriage? Not that I'm trying to make money off it, but I'm just saying, like, that logic is also flawed. The last thing, what did I just say? Oh, about me crying. A lot of those clips were actually from these YouTube videos, which I don't record it and be like, I'm crying, like I'm talking and then I just happen to be crying, like then I use the footage. But also, we always pull our phones out in these happy moments, so like, why can't we record the sad moments? Also, I am a drama queen. I'm a youngest child. Like, recording myself crying, I did that before I was even on social media. When I go back to my first son's pregnancy, I have so many pictures of me crying. I didn't post on social media back then. Like, that's just the kind of person, like, some of us are a bit more dramatic, but like, to me, I record so much of my life, it doesn't really feel unnatural to like record a video of me crying, to be honest. Now, when I show my miscarriage video, 10 seconds long, do you think I only cried for 10 seconds? There are so many times where I was in the depths of pain and crying. Like, I wasn't recording those ones, but there was other times that I was like more upset, but I was still like on my phone. I was still with it. And so like, to set up my phone and record for 20 seconds, I don't know, I don't think that's like that big of a deal, but that's always things I get trolled for. So all that to say, trolls, people that have nasty things to say about you, are honestly just unhappy in their life. Like, I personally would never go comment something like that on somebody else's. Like, I know people who have gotten pregnant without even trying and they don't even want a baby, and I would never comment being like, you blah blah blah, you should be grateful because I want to be pregnant, because I recognize that they're happy in their life, like, and I'm happy in my life, and although things are not going my way, me tearing another woman down is not going to make me feel any better about myself. So at the end of the day, people who say crap to you are generally unhappy people, because happy people just don't really care at the end of the day. So that's my rant over. I need to go into Asda and get some shopping, but I'm feeling good at the minute. I'm feeling very good. Whether this is the month or not, I'm in that stage of the month where I'm feeling happy. I feel like this is the happiest I've been in this vlog so far. So yeah, we're officially 10 days post ovulation. I haven't like fully, don't know what I've updated this month, but I did the clear blue test. Maybe delete some of this if I already said it, but I've just been, it said I ovulated a lot earlier than the pre-mum ones I've taken. So who knows what that means. It's probably too early to test. We're gonna test it anyway, and I'm in the office trying to be quiet. I've got my shot glass and my clear blue test, and I'm gonna be looking at my phone camera. So I think, did I record this last month? It was negative, so let's go and do it. Let's see what my heart rate is on my Fitbit. What does it say? 94, which is getting higher. God, my resting heartbeat is like 60, 95. Okay, we've got 3 minutes to wait. I really wish I bought the ones that actually just said like pregnant or not pregnant. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes, so let's look. I don't know how to feel. I feel like the last pregnancy like stole. That is 100% lying though. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. But I'm so scared. I'm pregnant again. I'm gonna be quiet. That is mine. I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it. It's like happy tears, but also I'm so scared. And now I have to go to sleep and keep it a secret from Trent and find a cute way to tell him because I can't do it the same way as last time. But I'm freaking pregnant. What the heck?